All right, everybody. Well, this is Love Pal reporting. And today I talk about the Opus Santorum Angelorum. Translation, work of the Holy Angels, more commonly known as Opus Angelorum. The German is Angelwerk. It's a movement within the Catholic Church that promotes devotion to angels. The Holy See recognized it in 2010 as in full conformity with the Church's teaching after a period in which controversy about it led to being placed in 1992 under the oversight of a Dominican priest. It spreads devotion to the holy angels among the faithful, exhorts them to pray for priests, and promotes love for Christ in his passion and union with it. It is active particularly in Austria, where it originated, and Germany, but also in Portugal, Brazil, Mexico, India, the Philippines, Italy, and the United States. The movement is now under the overall direction of the Order of Canons Regular of the Holy Cross, who have about 125 members living in 12 communities in 10 countries. That's Austria, Italy, Germany, Portugal, Colombia, Brazil, Mexico, India, the Philippines, and the United States. And canon law, the movement is classified as an association of the Christian faithful and includes, as well as individual members, lay, religious, and priests, two religious institutes, the Canon Regular of the Holy Cross and the Sisters of the Cross. Excuse me. Within membership, there are phases of admission. Members of the movement are formally admitted in 3 phases. First, the promise. In the presence of a priest, each respective member makes a promise to God and the person's guardian angel to love the angel and respond to the angel's instructions given through the person's conscience. Then, during this preliminary year, the future member endeavors to listen to the angel's voice. Next phase of admission is consecration to one's angel guardian and a candlelit ceremony before the Blessed Sacrament. Members consecrate themselves to their individual guardian angels, undertaking to become like angels and to venerate them, and asking their guardian angels to obtain for them a strong love that will inflame them. Membership begins with acceptance of this consecration by a priest in the name of the Church. Next phase of admission, third, consecration to all the angels. In a similar ceremony, members consecrate themselves to the angelic kingdom, thus enabling them to live in sacred communion with all things and bringing them to life the individual's unmanifest creative potential. Between 1998 and 2020, the number of members has decreased from about about 1 million persons, including about 50 bishops and some cardinals, to some thousands worldwide. There's a little history. The movement was founded by a group of priests and seminarians in Innsbruck, Austria, in 1949. It drew inspiration from accounts that from 1949 to her death, Gabrielle Bitterlich, 1896 to 1978, gave of private revelations that she claimed to have received. In 1961, the Bishop of Innsbruck established the canonical confraternity of the Guardian Angels. Other associations followed, including the priestly sodality. There's a vocabulary I'll have to go through later, sodality. And in the following 2 decades, the movement spread to many places in the world. There's a controversy. In her many writings, Mrs. Bitterlich also proposed some novel theories about the functions, groupings, and personal names of angels and demons. about an ongoing spiritual warfare between the two. These theories and practices based on them gave rise to controversy, and on 1st of December 1977, Cardinal Joseph Hoffner, Archbishop of Cologne, brought them to the attention of the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith, which began to study them shortly after Mrs. Benedict's death the following year. The congregation carried out the requested investigation and responded on 24th September 1983 with a letter known by its incipit. The Thursday was laid down in fostering devotion to the holy angels. Opus Angelorum must respect the teaching of the Church and the Holy Fathers and Doctors. In particular, it is not to spread a form of devotion to the angels using the names derived from the alleged private revelation attributed to Mrs. Gabrielle Benedict, nor made use of those names in any prayers of the community. 2. Opus Angelorum is not to demand or even propose to its members who would what is called the promise of secrecy, although with regard to the internal affairs of the Opus Angelorum, it is lawful to maintain the discretion that befits members of the Church's institutes. 3. The Opus Angelorum and its members will strictly observe the norms of the liturgy, especially regarding the Eucharist. This holds in particular for the so-called Communion of Expiation. This was followed by a decree of 6th June 1982, which repeated the contents of the 1983 letter, and in view of incorrect interpretation and application of that letter, laid down the following rules. First, the theories originating from the alleged revelations of Mrs. Gabrielle Benedict concerning the world of the angels and their personal names, groupings, and functions cannot be taught or in any way, whether explicitly or implicitly, be used in the organization and structure of the Opus Angelorum, such as its worship, prayers, spiritual formation, public or private spirituality, ministry, and apostolate. The same rule holds for any other church-approved institute or association. The various forms of acts of consecration to the angels used in the Opus Angelorum are prohibited. Also prohibited are the so-called distant administration of the sacraments and the insertion into the Eucharistic liturgy and the liturgy of the hours of texts, prayers, and rites directly or indirectly related to the aforesaid theories. Exorcisms may be carried out only in line with the Church's norms and discipline on the matter, and with the usual formulas approved by the Church. A delegate with special faculties appointed by the Holy See will in contact with the bishops oversee and promote the application of these norms. He will also clarify and determine the relations between the Opus Angelorum and the order of the canons regular of the Holy Cross. Approval. The delegate chosen was the Dominican priest Father Benoit Dureau, who in March 2010 handed over to another Dominican priest, Father Daniel Ois. On May 31st, 2000, the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith approved a revised form of the movement's act of consecration to the angels. In 2002, the Female Institute of the Sisters of the Holy Cross, associated with but independent of the canons regular, was established in Edinburgh. In the following year, 2003, the Congregation for Institutes of Consecrated Life and Societies of Apostolic Life granted definitive approval to the Order of Canons Regular of the Holy Cross. A religious institute founded in 1131, expressed in 1834, which was refounded in 1977 and received the initial provisional formal approval, Decretum Laudatus, of the Holy See in 1979, to it in accordance with Canons 677 and 303 of the Code of Canon Law. The care of Opus Angelorum movement is committed. On the 7th of November 2008, the same congregation approved the status of Opus Angelorum as a public association of the faithful. On the 4th of November 2010, the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith declared, today, thanks to the obedience of its members, the Opus Angelorum can be considered to be living loyally and serenely in conformity with the doctrine of the Church and with canonical and liturgical law. Therefore, in its present state, the Opus Angelorum is a public association of the Church in conformity with traditional doctrine and with directives of the Holy See. opposition. The tabloid German newspaper Frankfurter Rundschau published a disapproving article by Georg Schindler on the Holy See's approval of the movement, claiming that Opus Angelorum believes smooth-haired dogs, peasant women, gypsies and midwives are particularly susceptible to satanic impulses. That demons love to take control in Jewish business neighborhoods, and that a long-standing apocalyptic fight between angels and the evil one is going on. Others interpreted the Holy See's statement approving the movement as instead a warning to beware of it. A possible example was the heading Vatican Walls of Wayward Opus Angelorum sect, given to a BBC news item, the text of which stated that the warning was issued not against the Vatican recognized movement, but against some ex-members who had either been expelled or who had left of their own accord, and who were endeavouring to form a rival wayward movement that would reject the norms issued by the Holy See. Christian Liechtenstein, writing in June 2017, also said that opponents of the movement's conservation called it a sect. Under the heading, who really founded the work of angels? Opus Angelo. Someone using the login name Marriott recounted in the blog of the Augsburger Allgemeine newspaper the many expressions of distrust he had met with regarding the movement, expressions horrifying enough to raise goose pimples. At the same time, he mentioned that they did not fit in with what he knew of his parish priest, a member of the movement. In 1990, journalist Heinz Strain, who was also an Orthodox theologian, wrote that the superior of a religious community in the Indian state of Kerala, who was sexually abusing members of his community, turned to the movement for advice and aid. They undertook not to make his lose his position or suffer any other loss, and performed an exorcism on him to combat the demons of homosexuality. Dragon, Varina, and Selithereth, names in Mrs. Bitterlick's writings about angels and demons. Afterwards, he committed a last murder. Homosexual acts were illegal in India until 2018. See homosexuality in India. And Strain points out that concealing a design to commit offense is punishable under Indian law. In Germany, the initiative of families damaged by Opus Angelorum, initiative Familien, was founded in 1990. The exorcism using Mrs. Bitterlick's demon names, in violation of the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith in 1982, prohibition of use of the names derived from the alleged private revelation attributed to Mrs. Gabriel Bitterlick may have been one of the reasons for enacting the Congregation's more detailed 1992 rules against the use in the movement's ministry and apostolate of the theories originating from the alleged revelations of Mrs. Gabriel Bitterlick concerning the world of the angels and their personal names, groupings, and functions. And its ruling. Exorcism may be carried out only in line with the Church's norms and discipline on the matter, and with the usual formulas approved by the Church. Citation needed. In 1993, the Brazilian priest Frederico Cunha was found guilty in Madeira of the murder of a 15-year-old who resisted his homosexual advances and was imprisoned. He maintained his innocence both then and later. In April 1998, he absconded to Brazil, where he, as a Brazilian, could not be extradited to Portugal, but could have been subjected to a new trial if the Portuguese government had requested it. The prison term to which he was condemned expired on 8th April 2018. According to Portuguese and Austrian media, Cunha was a canon regular of the Holy Cross. By his own account, and that of the Diocese of Funchal, he was incarnated in that diocese. See also Canons regular, the Holy Cross of Coimbra, Guardian Angel, and Schoenstatt Apostolic Movement. Here's some references. Holdren Allen, Controversial Angels in Order Given Vatican OK. Catholic News Agency. Well, I don't need to read the whole bibliography. Okay, but there's the deal on the Opus, I'm sorry, Santorum, Angelorum. There you have it. Definitively, this so-called sect or Christian movement that is very devout to the angels themselves, but also had some gay stuff going down, and is losing a lot of its members. Personally, I think it's a great work. They may have played it wrong, but they had a lot going on. The Holy See, it must have great potential with that. But I thought I'd tell you guys about that. Anyway, that's Slothpit. You may email me at ipsofacto@gmail.com. That's ipsophochocto@gmail.com. And always find me here on this channel you found somehow. It's got like maybe 300 hits or whatever so far. You're the first. I am Slothpit. Don't forget Harsh is up. It's my first jihadist rap. Then what this channel's supposed to be about. Listen to Harsh. In the name